I'm Robert Edwards from 6 Star Hot Water and Plumbing. Have you recently received a water bill that is much higher than your previous water bills? Do you suspect that you have a water leak? Did your last water bill jump from a figure like this to a figure like this? If it has, it's possible that you have a water leak or that the water utility has made a misreading of your water meter. 6 Star Hot Water and Plumbing has experience to help you get to the bottom of this. With 30 years experience in water leak locating and detecting, we can come out and find out whether you actually do have a water leak or whether the utility has made a mistake in its billing. The first thing I do when I'm looking to see if there's a water leak is I come out and check the water meter. Okay. And if that wheel in the middle there was spinning, it would tell me that water was going through the system. In this case, the wheel's spinning. So it's obvious that there's water passing through the system somewhere. I'll go inside first of all and I'll have a look for any obvious signs in there, in the toilets, the taps, the dishwasher, and the hot water system. I'm going to check all of the garden taps. What I'm going to have to do is make sure that I take the fittings off, because it could be leaking through the end of the hose down there. So that one's alright. I'll go and check the others. Again, we'll take the hose connection off and check to see if there's nothing running through that. And this is another thing that I need to be wary of. There's an irrigation system fitted to the house, so I'll look for the main stop valve for that and make sure that when I turn that off that the meter either stays running or stops. It'll be an indication whether the leak's actually in the irrigation system or not. So here's another garden tap. Once again, we'll take the hose fitting off, make sure it's turned off. And here's the isolation point for the irrigation, so I'll turn that off and then I'll go back and check the meter. Check the meter after I turned the irrigation system off and the meter was still ticking over. So now I'm just going to check the toilets, and I can do that by sticking my finger in the back of the toilet and looking for any dribbles that form around the dam that I've made with my finger. And again, nothing coming out of that. And I'm going to turn off the stop valve to the system, and then I'll do that to all of the toilets and check to see that there's that the meter does or doesn't stop. I've done all of the inside taps and I've done all of the inside toilets. I've checked the irrigation. Now I'm going to turn off the cold water to the hot water system. I don't need to worry about a relief valve because there isn't one on this continuous flow. So by turning off the cold water supply to the hot water system, I can go back out to the water meter then and check to see if it's still ticking over. Well, we've done all of our checks and tests, and we've established that there actually is a leak. So now I'm going to use my electronic locating gear to find where it is. Unfortunately, when this house was built, the plumber ran copper all the way to the house, but once he got to the house he changed to plastic. Now my electronic leak locating equipment and everybody else's just won't find a plastic pipe, but there are a couple of tricks we can use. One of them is we can insert a metal rod through the inside of the plastic pipe if we can find it and get access into it. What we've found is that the pipe has changed back to copper for a little bit. I don't know why it's done that. It might be going off to the pool. So I suspect that the leak is actually out in this copper pipe. I've capped and tested it, and when I capped this section of pipe, the leak stopped. So I'm getting pretty close to it. As I was tracing over the top of the copper pipe here, I noticed the ground was a little bit damp, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spike it. It's no use me bringing out my machine to try and listen to it because I'm just not going to hear it underground here. The depth said it was about 600 millimetres. I'm just not going to hear it. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking for soft spots. Well, that's very close there. Let's just go a little bit further. It's getting harder and harder the further I move away from that damp spot. Just go back there. That's pretty good there. So I'll dig it up here and I'll have a look because I've got water dripping off the end of my probe, which is a good sign that we're very close to the leak. So this is where it was the softest. I'm just going to dig down here and see if I can find the pipe, and then check that leak. It is starting to get wetter down here. I just have to be careful because I think there's another pipe in here as well. The leak was actually pointing down. The pipe had probably been rubbing on a rock for a long time and eventually wore through. And we got lucky in one sense. There was an irrigation pipe out here and we took a bit of care to dig around just to make sure there wasn't anything next. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put this pipe back together. We're going to do a pressure test on the house and it should be all good. I'm going to put this pressure gauge on the garden tap here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on, see what the pressure is, and there it is, it's holding 400 kilopascals. Now I'm going to go and turn the water off at the meter and come back here in 5 minutes and see if that's still holding 400 kilopascals. And if it is, it confirms that there aren't any leaks in the system at all. I turned the water off at the water meter 5 minutes ago, and I've just checking the gauge here now, and it's still holding at 400 kilopascals. So that confirms to me that there are no leaks. If you suspect that you have a water bill that's not right, or that you have a water leak, call 6 Star Hot Water and Plumbing Canberra. We can help you sort it out straight away. We can either find the leak or determine whether you actually have any problems at all and whether you're entitled to a refund from your local water utility.